So, defending and opening one no trump. What this means is that the enemies, the baddies, have opened one no trump. It isn't defending against your partner's opening one no trump, even though sometimes you might feel like you have to do that. So, one of them has opened one no trump, and you have a system that you can play once they open one no trump. Now, so far, we have played the double is penalties. That's going to stay the same. 2 clubs is clubs, 2 diamonds is diamonds, 2 hearts is hearts, and 2 spades is spades. Of course, that's far too simplistic for me. So what I'm going to try to do is to encourage you into playing an artificial system that gets you to bid more frequently. Now, a bit of background. We, in Britain, play the one no trump as an opening bid is 12 to 14 points. We are in a massive minority. The world plays it as 15 to 17. But we, for some reason, play as 12 to 14. It's to do with our history and how our system developed. So we are known as a weak no-trump system because our one no-trump is a weaker opening bid. What most of the world play is a strong no-trump, i.e. 15-17. It doesn't really matter as long as you make your decision that if I open one no-trump it's X, and if I open one banana and then bid one no-trump it's Y. So we have made that decision. One no-trump is 12-14. One no-trump after opening something is 15-17. What the rest of the world does is they invert those two. But that doesn't really matter. One of the big advantages to playing one no trump as 12 to 14 as an opening bid is that with one no trump being 12 to 14, you open it more frequently one no trump than you do one of a suit. So you're opening one no trump more often than you're opening, let's say, one club, because you're more likely to get 12 to 14 points than you are 15 to 17. The balance requirement is still the same. So whether you're balanced or not, you open the same number of no trumps. Now the reason one no trump being weak is a big advantage is because opening one no trump is rather removing the entirety of the one level. They can't bid one club, one diamond, one heart, or one spade when you open one no trump. So it's a very preemptive bid. Now it's not as preemptive as opening 3 diamonds. That's quite preemptive. But it's an opening bid, but it's preemptive in nature, which is kind of a bit of a double-edged sword because it's an opening bid, so it's a decent hand. It's not brilliant, but it's decent. But it's also very destructive if you happen to find the opponents have got the points. You will very commonly, not very commonly, but quite commonly, get a situation where you were about to open one no trump, and then they open one no trump instead. This is a very frustrating situation. Because they've been dealt a balanced hand with just better than average points, it's not 1,000,000 to 1 that you will also be dealt a balanced hand with slightly better than average points. You will have all had this happen to you, I'm sure. They open one no trump just as you're about to open one no trump. What this does is essentially cut you out of the auction entirely, because you can't bid 2 somethings because you need a 5-card suit to bid 2 somethings, and you can't double because double is penalties. So you haven't got enough points to double, and you haven't got enough of a suit to bid. A trapped hand. Now trapped hands are really miserable, but sometimes you get them. This is the beauty of playing a weak no trump, is that you punish the opponent sometimes, you get in their way some of the time. So this is why, because the rest of England and the UK play the weak no trump, I teach the weak no trump, because if you didn't play it, you're at a disadvantage against everyone else who plays it. If everyone played strong no trump, I would teach you strong no trump, because I want you to play what everyone else plays, because then it's the best players that emerge to the top, not the best system. Weak no trump is a very, very preemptive system. The French really dislike playing English for this very reason, because we always seem to do them over when we open a weak no trump. It always seems to get in their way. It's kind of a thing they've got, like a mental trick. So I really enjoy it. we actually genuinely play strong no trump until we play the French, and then we play a weak no trump system, just because they dislike it so much. So that's my experience at that level anyway. So it is a really kind of obtrusive bit in the sense of an opening bit. Now, what I'm going to talk about is what to do when the opponents open this one no trump, because you can't bid one anything, and that's really a big disadvantage, that you can't bid one anything. So, things that are staying the same. Double is still penalties, so if I upgrade our hand considerably, if they open one no trump and you've got 16 or more points, you double them. You don't need any particular shape. Obviously, if you had a really good solid suit, that's a good thing, because you can rattle that off against one no trump. The idea behind doubling them is if you've got 16, the odds are heavily, well, certainly, I don't know what percentage it is, but certainly favourable, that you will have more points than them. So if they've got an average of 13, we've got, what we've got here, 18, that's 30-ish. They've got 5 each. That means one no trump shouldn't make. Now, of course, it could be that they have all the points that are missing and one no trump makes easily and you look silly for doubling, yada yada. But you tend to find, on average, if you've got 16 or more points, they will not make one no trump. So that's what a penalty double is. The reason double isn't takeout is because you can't have shortage in the no trump suit, because it isn't a suit. And it's unlikely you can tolerate all 4 suits. I appreciate it's possible if you fall 3-3-3. But a penalty double is more useful. So double is staying the same. Nothing is changing there. Bidding a suit is a weaker hand in strength, but a more distributional hand. Now, I am going to change some of these, but not all of them. So bidding a suit is just like overcalling. It's identical to overcalling. The only thing to watch out for is you can't bid 1 anything. So if you are bidding 2 somethings, which you have to, you need 10 or more points, because you can never ever bid 1 something over 1 no trump. There is a common mistake where you think you need 15 to 18 points to overcall 1 no trump, and that's because of a very specific way of wording it. If you were to bid 1 no trump as an overcaller, i.e. 1 club, 1 no trump, this overcall requires 15 to 18 points. But to overcall their 1 no trump, you don't need 15 to 18 points. You just need your normal overcall. For example, if the bidding goes 1 no trump, we're going to bid 2 spades on this hand, I hope. If the bidding was to go 1 heart, pass, 2 hearts, we're going to bid 2 spades on this hand. So it's just the level that you're at. 1 no trump just happens to mean that you can't bid 1 something, so you have to bid 2. So you need 10 plus points. As ever with overcalling, you can be more aggressive when not vulnerable. You ought to be a full shilling when vulnerable, so you don't really stretch much when you're vulnerable. So bidding 2 of a suit is quite a, not rare, but you can get it where you haven't got a 5-card suit. Now, if you've got a 5-card suit and if you haven't got a 5-card suit and you've got a trapped hand, I'm not going to solve that problem. That is still a problem of the weak no trump. I can't solve it, because if you haven't got a 5-card suit and you haven't got enough points to double, there genuinely isn't a bid you can make. You could agree, I suppose, the way 2 clubs have got a trapped hand, but then you can't bid clubs, so don't worry about that. When I'm thinking about artificial things to do, what we're trying to do by introducing artificial systems, wherever we introduce them, is all about trying to get majors involved. So I'm going to teach you something where you bid a minor and it suggests you've got a major as well. Now this is known as Asptro, A-S-T-P-R-O, or Asptro, A-S-P-T-R-O. I can never remember which way around the P and T go. And in fact, I'm pretty convinced there's 2 different systems, because I'm sure people say there's different things. I'm going to teach you the one I think is Asptro, but it could be Asptro, I'm not sure. The reason for it is that there was something called Aspro and there was something called Astro, and then they got merged together and they made Asptro or Aspro, depending on what you do. Don't worry about it, just kind of what I do is I just fumble over the middle so no one really knows which way around the 2 letters. I think it's Aspro, but I don't know. So what Aspro is it essentially sacrifices 2 of your 4 suits. So you can bid clubs, diamonds, hearts or spades at this current moment. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to take away clubs and diamonds, not surprisingly, I'm sacrificing the minors, so that you can bid more readily with major suited hands. What that means is I'm not going to touch 2 hearts and 2 spades. So 2 hearts is still hearts and 10 plus points, and 2 spades is still spades with 10 plus points. There is nothing extra, new, nothing special about that. It's this kind of hand, where you've got a major, and that's it. Okay? So I'm trying not to remove that ability, because if you have this kind of hand, you need to be able to bid spades with that hand. You need that as natural, because bidding spades is so much more important. If this suit was clubs, yes, I want to bid them, but I'm not as upset at losing that as a price, because it doesn't matter anyway, they're probably going to bid over 2 clubs, probably. Whereas over 2 spades, they're less likely to be able to. So what Aspro says, Asptro, whatever it is, says is you can bid when you have a 2 suited hand. So a two-suited hand is at least 5-4, that's what Asptro defines. Now the idea behind this is to A, get you bidding more often, and B, get major fits found more often as overcallers. So the idea behind it is bid frequency and major fit frequency. So you sacrifice bidding 2 clubs or 2 diamonds, which are minors, which we don't mind losing unless as long as we're gaining something. And you play that 2 clubs and 2 diamonds are artificial bids. They are bids that mean something other than just, I have this suit. Okay? So it's a bit like stamen and transfers. You sacrifice those minor bids to be able to bid majors more readily. Same kind of theory. The only difference is they've opened one trump rather than your partner. Now, as ever, we're showing the majors. So the way Asptro works is that your new minor suits mean something. And they are as follows. So, I should put the little thingies. Because it's an artificial bid, it needs an asterisk. It needs alerting. Because an artificial bid, whenever your bid means something as well as something else, it needs to be alerted. So therefore, I'll just turn this bloody alarm off. 2 clubs being hearts and another suit, and 2 diamonds being spades and another suit, clubs, by the fact that you put 2 clubs down on the table, and that shows hearts, means that it needs alerting. Just like a transfer and stamen. It's a message, it's a code, if you like. So what this says is that we've got rid of 2 clubs and 2 diamonds being just clubs and just diamonds, and now we play 2 clubs as hearts and another suit. Now the beauty of this is when you've got a 2-suited hand, 5 and 4, you can bid them when your hearts are 5 and your other suit is 4, or you can bid them when your hearts are 4 and your other suit is 5. It's a very flexible thing. So with a 2-suited hand, like this is 2-suited, it could be right to play in diamonds, it could be right to play in hearts. When you bid 2 clubs which says hearts and another suit, it's 5-4 in either direction. It could be 4 and 5, 5 and 4, it could be 5 and 5, it could be 6 and 5. But 5-4 is the minimum. What this does is it's what's known as anchoring to the major. You're showing the major before you end up settling on not going for the major. So if your partner has hearts opposite this heart-orientated bid, you find a heart fit and you never worry about your diamonds. If your partner does not have hearts, they then ask you what your other suit is, and then you play in that one. So it's sort of a 2-bite thing. You catch all, if you will.